The Houston Texans beat the Tennessee Titans. Not only do they beat them, they absolutely shut them out. 0 points allowed. And what was slowly becoming a snooze fest of a game, as we've somewhat gotten used to as Texans fans. Fortunately, things were able to pick up, specifically on offense and specifically in the fourth quarter. And anytime you shut out the Tennessee Titans, man, I am going to be having a great time. This might be the game that fires their head coach. The backup play caller wasn't any better, and so you just love seeing Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans in an absolute dumpster fire that they were in. There's still a lot to talk about here. Let's not act like the Texans immediately took the game and blew them out of the water, because that did not happen. Your score was 6-0 after the third quarter, with just as many missed field goals as made field goals, which that's not a great stat for the NFL, as the announcers were saying. But before we get in and break down this game, I do want to talk about key personnel changes that were made that are important. The first thing is Laken Tomlinson was benched pretty early on into this game. Drew Scruggs filled in at the left guard spot. I do think that's significant. I think Drew Scruggs played a lot better than Laken Tomlinson. I know Laken Tomlinson's a vet coming from Seattle. He is not any good, so it was good to see a second-round pick that Caserio drafted actually play, and Drew Scruggs. And I think you should just let Drew Scruggs be your starting left guard moving on, because it looked a lot better with Drew Scruggs in. The second big personnel change is Woody Marks getting a lot more carries. I mean, this is something that should have happened from day one. Finally seeing some trust in the Woody Marks, the rookie. And yeah, he looks electric. He looks like he has jukes. He has spin moves. He has burst. He has vision. He looks like a guy you would trade a future third-round pick for to move up and get him in the fourth round. I'm finally happy that they're using him. I mean, his stats were great. 2 touchdowns on the day, led the Texans in rushing yards with 70 pretty much, 17 carries, and a touchdown on the ground, as well as, 40 or so yards and receiving. So, yeah, Woody Marks, this was Woody Marks' breakout game. And that just comes as a function from shifting snaps from Nick Chubb to Woody Marks, and Woody Marks becoming running back 1. Another big change on the defense was EJ Speed biting into some of Henry To'oTo'o's reps. We've seen To'oTo'o not look the greatest to start the season, missing tackles. To'oTo'o still got in. He led the team in tackles with 5, but yeah, EJ Speed got a lot more run. You saw Christian Harris in a couple of times. And then one other thing I'll say about the secondary is they didn't really give up a play. Other than the play on the first drive of the game that Cam Ward had, where he escapes Will Anderson and finds Elic Eomenor for a catch. Other than that, they didn't really have any other explosives. I mean, Elic Eomenor would go on to have 44 yards on 2 catches. This secondary looked fine, and I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, CJ Gardner-Johnson's gone, the whole secondary's been cured. I'm not going to say that. But yeah, this is definitely the bounce-back performance that the secondary needed to have. Did Kamari Lassiter get caught a couple of times? Yes. But I mean, Derek Stingley played elite. You rarely heard his name come up besides the interception, which was just, great being there in the right place, getting that interception. And then Kalen Bullock's name didn't come up. MJ Stewart held up. Like, things looked fine in the secondary without CJ Gardner-Johnson, which is a lot that you can ask for. And then you also have to talk about Danielle Hunter having 2 sacks. I haven't looked at the advanced stats, but I'm sure the pressures were through the roof. But yeah, I did want to mention those key lineup changes in Henry To'oTo'o getting less snaps, Woody Marks looking like RB1, thank God, and Drew Scruggs getting in there, thank goodness. So now let's actually talk about this offense. And guys, look, y'all all watched the game. This was not an offense that was blowing the Titans out of the water, which is concerning. You would have kind of hoped that the offense could put it together on the first drive they got and just really kind of, continue on piling up points from the get-go. But, I mean, I'll take a 26-0 win. That's fine. You kick a field goal on your first drive. That was the drive where they kind of had the stall initially. They ran the ball 3 times in a row. The drive kind of stalled, but we did a QB sneak for 2 yards and ended up walking down and kicking a field goal. So in the second quarter, you had another field goal, and then it stalled again. You had a punt, you had another punt, and in the third quarter, you had a missed field goal by Kaimi Fairbairn. So this offense did not necessarily play elite at all. I do wonder how much of their fourth quarter explosion came from the Titans defense just having to be on the field the whole time and not being able to get off. I mean, they are more of a dumpster fire than I could have imagined. Jeffrey Simmons had one of the best D-tackle plays I've seen in years when he sacked C.J. Stroud, just his, getting so quick off the line. But other than that, I mean, not much to be said about the Titans defense. Snead should know who Nico Collins is by now. Nico having a nice day as well, kind of under the radar on Snead. And they eventually overcame the 2nd and 33 or whatever it was and turned that into essentially a touchdown drive, which was pretty insane to see. So was it the best offensive performance? No. Did you limit the penalties? Kind of. I believe there's only like 3 or 4 offensive penalties, which, hey, we'll take. No illegal shifts, no offsides, nothing like that. So the penalties were cleaned up. Titus Howard had 2 penalties that I can remember off the top of my head directly. So there were still some penalty concerns. But, like, again, when you play a shitty team like the Titans, it's not really going to matter. But the touchdowns, I mean, Woody Marks is special. This is probably his breakout game. Both touchdowns looked amazing. They looked great. And then Jaden Higgins finds the end zone as well. Thank God. Jaden Higgins finishes with 1 target, 1 reception, and 1 touchdown. So like I've been saying, you've got to find a way to get Jaden Higgins the ball more. But I will credit Nick Caley for making the adjustments, for targeting Jalen Noel. He targeted Jalen Noel twice. They weren't big plays or anything, but he's at least trying to get Jalen Noel the ball. This is what this offense can look like when you get rookies the ball. And I'm mainly talking about the fourth quarter. It can be explosive. We still see that. Stroud's body language looked good. He was hyped up. He was fired up. When you have the right guys in at line, Juice Scruggs for Laken Tomlinson, and you have the right receivers you're targeting with Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins, and you have the right running backs in with Marks, this offense has shown you that it can be explosive for at least a quarter. And that being said, I'm not going to be too pessimistic. I'm not going to be too negative. They needed this win. They will be looking at this Ravens game and hopefully being ready for their Baltimore appearance to try to turn this season around and hopefully stack a couple of wins. But all in all, you can't judge it too greatly in one way because it's the Titans defense. But at the same time, the offense showed life. They showed that they can put points on the board, that they can score 3 touchdowns in a quarter, which I love to see. Just absolutely humming. So I will take that any day of the week, and the defense came to play. So overall, just a solid win that the Texans needed. Glad that they were able to get it done at home. So let me know what you guys thought about this win. What was the most surprising to you? And I will see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.